Number 31. Now this question is about functions and slopes in particular. What is the slope of BC? BC is here. It is horizontal. If you know that the slope of a horizontal line is 0, then this is a very easy question. Otherwise, you'd have to use the formula for the slope, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And the ordered pairs that we would use would be 5, 4, and 0, 4. So that would be 4 minus 4 over 5 minus 0. That's 0 over 5, which is 0. So the answer is A. Number 32. Number 32 is a geometry question, and it deals with reflections across the x or y axis. In this case, it's over the y axis. So parallelogram ABCD will be reflected over the y axis. What will be the coordinates of the image of A? So if we look at this graph and we are reflecting across the y axis, that means this side of the parallelogram will end up over here like this, and this side of the parallelogram will be over here like that. That's how it will be reflected. And so we're looking at point A, which is right there. Let me redo that. Point A is here. It's going to come over here. Notice that the y value doesn't change. The only thing that's changing is the x value. So it's originally at negative 1, 1. It's going to change to, well, the 1 for the y value is going to stay the same, and it's going to become positive 1. It's changing from a negative to a positive 1. So if we look at the answer choices, we can do process of elimination. Even though we know that the answer is 1, 1, we can look at the x values here and see that it can't be negative, so those can't be the number, but those can't be the answer choice. And we also know that the y value doesn't change, so it won't be negative 1 here. The answer is J. Number 33 is a number and quantity question, and we are working with exponents. Which of the following is equivalent to 8 squared times 4 to the 0.5? 8 to the 2 times 4 to the 0.5. Now, what you can do is find the values for each of these answer choices. So 2 to the 7th is 128, 4 to the 4.5 is 512, 8 to the 2.5 is 181, 16 squared is 256, and 32 is 32. And then we can plug these numbers into the calculator, and we would find that this equals 128. So the answer is A. That's a pretty quick way to do it. Another way to do it is to realize that the two bases can actually be expressed with the base of 2. So 8 squared can actually be expressed as 2 cubed squared, and 4 to the 0.5 can be expressed as 2 squared to the 0.5. So 8 is 2 cubed, 4 is 2 squared. And so we would multiply these two numbers together and multiply these two numbers together, and we would get 2 to the 6 times 2 to the 1, which would be 2 to the 6 plus 1, which is 2 to the 7. So that's the other way to do it. Number 34 is an integrating essential skills question, and this one deals with proportions. A school admissions office accepts 2 out of every 7 applicants. Now we can write this as 2 accepted over 7 total. So we can make this a ratio of 2 to 7, or we can make this a ratio of 2 accepted and 5 rejected. So for every 2 people that are accepted, there are 5 people that are rejected if they accept 2 out of a total of 7. Given that the school accepted 630 students, how many applicants were not accepted? So if we use, that's the reason why I put rejected here, because that's the not accepted part. So we can use 2/5 as our ratio of accepted to not accepted. And if 630 are accepted, how many are not accepted? Now we can do the cross multiplication here and solve for x. But before we do that, let's think about what this number could be. If 2 is to 630 as 5 is to x, then that means x has to be bigger than 630. In fact, it has to be more than twice 630 because 2 to 5 is more than 2 to 4, right? Meaning 5 is more than twice 2. So this number has to be bigger than 630 by more than double. These will not be your answer. And 1260 is exactly 2 times 630, so you need more than that. Answer is going to be K. You don't even need to do the cross multiplication. If you just take a moment to think about it, you'll see that this number has to be bigger than 1260. And so the only answer choice that's bigger than that is K. Number 35 is a function question, and we're dealing with logarithms. What is the value of log root 8 with base 2? Now, what you can do is just plug this into your calculator, and if you have a graphing calculator, this is extremely simple. So we can use our calculator to solve this problem. If you go to your graphing calculator and you press Math, and you scroll all the way down to log base, press Enter, then you can just input these two numbers. This would be, the base would be 2, and then we would put square root of 8. And press Enter, and we get 0.5, which is, if you press Math and then Enter, you get that in fraction form, which is 3/2. The answer is B. Otherwise, you can rewrite this into exponential form. Log x with base b equals y. That's the logarithmic form. The exponential form is b to the y equals x. So b to the y equals x. So we can rewrite this as, well, let's put this equal to y. That's 2 to the y equals root 8. So I took this, I set it equal to y, and then I rearranged it to look like the exponential form, 2 to the y equals root 8. And that is not as difficult to solve because the square root of 8 can be rewritten as the square root of 2 cubed, and that can be rewritten as 2 to the 3/2. And so y is 3/2.